discussion item, Cardox Road repair completion. So, I know that Larry and our road superintendent and PJ were all up on Cardox Road at Mr. Cant's property, correctly?
Yeah.
Coming up with some final resolutions to help that gentleman with the debris that washes in his yard and finally completing that curb.
Correct.
Correct, and PennDOT's, John Katnick also. Good. PennDOT's, the PennDOT Municipal Services rep also met with us out there. And we discussed the necessary taper to adjust that paving width back down from where it's wide to the existing width there. So that taper should and can and will be in accordance with the PennDOT specifications. We're looking to install one catch basin and a wedge curb to solve the drainage problem out there. I sort of formalized our recommendations into our engineer's report for the Cardox Road item, so you'll see those there.
So the orange barriers will finally be off of Cardox Road?
Correct.
The goal, yes.
So, won't that be lovely? Finally not see those orange barriers on Cardox Road.
I did talk to Sam Camp today, discussed the perspective plan with him. He seemed very amenable to it.
What about the MS4 part?
We also briefly discussed that. He'd like to have a follow-up meeting with us. He also seemed very amenable to working with the township on the MS4 project, so it was a good conversation.
I think he's shown he's a reasonable person, but it gets a little bit frustrating for.
He's been living with this for a long time, and he'd like for it to be completed, and I think we have a good plan to complete it and a timeline to do so, and I think we'll be able to work with him here in the future to.
That'd be fine.
If there's been some concern from residents about the slide on the airport and the way that it's marked, or concerns that someone might, is it a considerable measure to maybe use those orange barriers to close down the airport road where that,
So just
is that
make it no longer a through street.
for now?
As long as we mark it as such, I think that would be fine.
Okay. So it's something to consider, maybe look at using the orange barriers
Wow.
to,
I'm sure Ken, the superintendent, already does this, but we'll just have to notify 911. And all of those
You
measures.
have to notify the residents.
I don't think it would hurt.
I think you should.
That'd be like registered residents.
Yeah. Oh, send certified. Certified residents.
something to think about. When you're out looking at the other damages inside, if you feel that, like if that looks like it might get bigger, it may be something we have to consider.
So,
You know, like, so if you're doing the cost factors to that slot, if that looks like that may get bigger from people riding on it, it may be something we have to.
I'll be honest, I think you're 100% right. I think it needs to be, Airport Road,
It's unsafe.
It's unsafe.
it is, I mean, it's under
And
mine.
we've already purchased a bunch of orange barriers we have sitting at the Nike site that used to be on Cardox Road.
so you make in your recommendation, like paragraph 8D, you have I guess II through, rule VI. Are those your recommendations?
Yes.
So if you wanna just make a motion to, it's up to you folks. To make a, you wanna make a
I mean,
motion now, or do you
I'll
want?
concede to the roadmaster, the engineer, and Larry who's actually been out there to see it. But, I know that there's been some concern from some residents about how safe that is.
Where it sits, that's Airport Road, you could go all in.
Okay? So,
Do you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. It's toned off now, but,
When you're talking putting piling in, there's a significant chance it could get worse.
so the resident list on Airport Road, is that something our tax collector could help me with?
All you should do is just go look at the tax bill online, look at the parcel ID viewer, or the tax collector can do it for you also, very easily. And just, what's that?
I think I can do that.
So, so basically, TJ, your recommendations are, if the board wants to make a motion now, you can make a motion to adopt the recommendation of the township engineer as suggested, as agreed to by Mr. Spear and also by Mr. Puglisi. And those would be, I don't wanna see all those things through, items 2 through 6, but just, you can represent in your minutes then.
And in accordance with the PennDOT specification.
I think you already have it.
Maybe we said that.
You already said it there.
Good
So I'm
enough.
just saying, if you wanna make a motion to adopt his recommendations, that is also.
I just would hate to see us have an emergency meeting in a week from now when something goes bad. Like, you know, I think preemptively, it may be safer to just, even if it's an over,
Well, who knows how much more rain we're gonna get. and
cause I
don't
mean,
have
even
the
if it's an
corrections
over
made.
precaution, I think it's. Yeah.
To Dennis's point, our recommendations in that engineer's report are for Cardox Road, but just for the record, I think it's not a bad step to close Airport Road at that location. As long as people have, local access to their driveways
Right.
still.
It is a shame to close down your newest paved road. That's it. So,
I don't believe it's safe.
I was
Especially
there
late at night with
today, I
nothing
got
for it.
out of the truck, I looked over the side, I think it could make the hole from 6 feet wide to 12 feet.
maybe
wide.
the not having cars vibrating on it will help till we get it fixed.
I very much agree with that.
Yeah,
Big trucks, vehicles, yeah.
So,
sits on that pitch, the water's bubbling on the other side.
So I thought we were talking about Cardox, right?
The recommendations are for Cardox.
All right,
Yes.
so someone make a motion to adopt the recommendation, make a motion to accept the recommendations of township engineer. And then we don't have to, we can just, rather than say all that stuff, just with reference to basically,
the township engineer for the completion of the repair on Cardox Road.
and is set forth in items 2 through 6 of his report. And when you do the minutes, if you can just recapitulate those in the minutes also, and then just, and I assume someone's gonna make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's clear.
That is
Cardox
Cardox Road, to make his recommendation about